basket, turn, still find the backboard. That's just unbelievable skill, man.
You got it? Ooh.
I can do that one.
And he can't get away from that, even though he still has to shoot the 5 threes that Frank Vogel wants him to shoot. That is a problem for opponents.
That was against Gorgui Dieng, a very good defensive big man, too. And he was kind of just stumbling backwards. I mean, that was impressive.
Wesley Matthews scored 14 points in the win. He's speaking with Allie.
Obviously, you speak to that defense. I was just talking to Mark about it because it's now back-to-back games where you guys found your way to close things out on the defensive end of the floor. How would you describe where you guys are as a team right now, as that was a big part of the Laker identity last season, and it looks to be again this season?
Right. It's still a work in progress. I mean, we're not completely where we want to be and where we need to be in order to get to where we want to get to. But I mean, that's expected for the most part. I mean, it's not something that we're content with by any means. So we're realistic with the situation, but at the same time, knowing that we got to get better. And everybody's working at it. We're staying diligent in the film. Obviously, guys that have been here in the system last year are helping new guys like myself. And it's kind of on-the-job training when we're out there. And so we're just trying to make the most of every situation, and we're thankful that we can come away with wins while doing it.
One final point for me, because I think we've seen it a lot this season. It's been a lot of fun to watch. But, of course, you saw the way you guys started the game, and then Memphis had that run to close out the first quarter. It was THT, it was you, it was Trez. Keith put in a positive 10 off the bench as well. Is there an identity you guys are forming in that second unit in regards to what you guys want to live up to and be responsible for this team?
I mean, our job coming off the bench is to either extend the lead or cut into the deficit. That's always been my mentality on every team that I've been on. Obviously, coming off the bench is something that's new within the last this season for me. But that's always been the identity of every great team is when you go to the bench, you don't lose anything. You got to provide a spark. You got to be able to do something that either, like I said, either extends the lead or cuts into it. And so we got a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things, a lot of guys that can impact the game in different ways. And just going to continue to take time, continue to take games like this, road trips. Tough, you got to be able to win every kind of way. Thanks, Wes.
Brad?
What's up, Wes?
What's going on?
Hey, man, when you're playing with AD, LeBron, Mark, and Dennis, are you trying to react to what they're doing? Are you just trying to find your favorite spot and then with them to find you?
I mean, well, when you're playing with anybody, really, your job is to keep the floor as balanced and spaced as much as possible. Obviously, those guys are going to have the ball in their hands way more than I am. So my job is to make sure I space the floor correctly, but then find windows, find pockets. Obviously they're going to draw a lot of attention, and we got to make them play honest. So, if you double team or your head's turned, I'm going to cut, I'm going to move. I'm rarely going to be in the same spot, and that's just how basketball has to be played. Last time I think the offense ran through me was my senior year. So I played off the ball a good deal in my basketball career, so it's not really anything new for me.
Dan?
Big game. This is why we don't judge a man after a couple of games. People very excited about Wes coming over. 3-point shooter, can defend. Starts out the year 0 for 8. Well, since then, big game. 10 of 14. He's shooting 46% on the season. And we've seen him on this road trip. He has been huge for this Laker team, especially tonight. But it's not just the threes. It's how he plays defense, how he fits. He knows how to space the floor. Like he said, big game. Been playing off ball since high school.
Yeah, and, to recognize that, look, they haven't ran the offense through me since high school. So he knows what his role is. And, here's a guy that's been in the league for a little while. He's endured some injuries and had to overcome some of those, but has made his way back into good condition, Geeter. And even before, like you said, he was 0 for 8. I still was impressed with the way he was playing the game. He was hustling. His defensive, awareness was on point. And I knew it was just a matter of time. When you talk about scores and shot makers, yeah, it's going to go away sometime, but they'll always find a way to get their shot back. What I've been impressed with is his ability to continue to play team ball, continue to hustle on the defensive end, and play the game. And so, he can shoot. I think he's a career 38% three-point shooter. So I wasn't worried about his shot coming.
Prez, I know it's
You know, go get it yourself.
I'm all for
Keats.
it. I'm all for it.
Montrez gave himself a little assist.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah,
Missed a shot.
Assist. All right, 31-19 fourth quarter. The difference is the Lakers win their third straight. Frank Vogel speaking with Mike in the media.
Hey, Frank, just given the challenges of this season, tonight you don't have KCP or Caruso. How important is it to have a bench that can come in and change the game energy-wise, which seemed to happen in this one?
Yeah, well, that's the great thing about our team is our depth and our ability to handle, a couple guys being out in particular at the same position, defensive same position anyway, our chasers. But those guys played well. Wes, Talon, Trez, and Keith, really gave us a lift off the bench and, big part of the victory.
Just specifically with Montrez, Frank, what did you see from him tonight?
Energy. He just, you have to honor everything he does on the offensive end, whether he's ducking in or rolling to the basket. He's really picked up his offensive rebounding, from early in the season. And, obviously gives great defensive, determination and fight as well with his communication. And, I thought he did a great job, not only rebounding the ball defensively, but boxing out. You know what I mean? And this is a selfless thing to give yourself up, to get your body into a bigger guy like Valanciunas, and let some of the guards, or you saw Braun with 13 defensive rebounds, just let some of the guards come back and rebound while he's doing the dirty work underneath and wiping the crashers off the glass. It doesn't show up on the box score, but really did a great job with that.
And Frank, not the first time that we've seen LeBron take over in a fourth quarter. I just wonder your perspective on the sideline when you're seeing him do that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get him a blow so he doesn't play the whole fourth quarter and he keeps making big plays. It's tough to take him out. So we were able to find a spot, to get him a rest so we don't overdo it in the fourth. But he was terrific. You know what I mean? He knew what he wanted to go to in terms of the action that he wanted to exploit in their defense. And, we kept putting him in that action, and he delivered, big shots, big plays with the pass, and, obviously, brought us home offensively during that, that fourth quarter.
Dave? Frank, last game we were asking you about Anthony being a 6'11" guy who's shooting threes off the bounce. Today, I think it's a 6-point game. He has a high screen for LeBron. LeBron sits with a pocket pass, and he's shooting a floater. Can you just speak about the variety of his skill set, and in particular, a floater from a 6'11" guy?
Yeah, he can shoot. He can do it all. Anthony's shot making is what makes him a top 5 player in this league. And whether it's in the low post with all his footwork moves, his ability to jab and shoot over guys, his hooks around the basket, his ability to finish around the basket on rolls and offensive rebounds, and the 3-ball, and you saw tonight the floater. So, he really can do it all.
Dan?
Hey, Frank, there was a sequence, I think, where Memphis had 3 guys kind of crashing the offensive rebound. It was a loose ball, and LeBron was the guy that was fastest to it, took you guys the other way, and got you out in transition. You talked before the game, this isn't a guy you can hold back because of his competitiveness. Like, if he's on the court, he's going to go. What have you thought of his effort levels and knowing kind of his short offseason, just seeing that competitiveness sort of just take over and kind of push him in nights like tonight?
No, I love it. We'll manage, his minutes and all that stuff in a responsible way. But when he's out on the floor, that's who he is. He's as competitive as anybody in the league. And, like I said, 13 defensive rebounds, that's hard to do when you're not a center. That's just competitive spirit, wanting to win, and, being determined. And obviously he carried a big offensive scoring load, but what he did, like you said, in those stretches defensively, we held these guys to 40 points in the second half, after 36 in the first quarter. So really did it on both ends of the floor.
No offense to Brook Lopez, but there's a lot going on down there, man. 108-94, LeBron James, close to a triple-double, 22, 13, and 8. AD, 17, 9, and 3. Montrez off the bench, 16 and 9. 5 of those offensive. Let's go back to Memphis. Marcus Saul speaking with Allie in the media.
I know you joined Mike before the game, talking about the emotions, of course, being back in a place that's so familiar and near and dear to your heart. I was just curious, once the game started, obviously the recognition from the organization to you, what that all meant as it all played out.
It meant a lot. Obviously, you're missing a huge part of all this, which is the fans and the people from Memphis that would have been there. But obviously, I'm very thankful, for what the franchise has done for me, not just now in recognition, but throughout the years that I was here, and now carry on into the next generation.
Obviously, you're a vet. You've been around this league for quite some time. Was there any kind of nervous energy for you being out there? Any kind of memories that flowed back that kind of had to put yourself in a position to settle down before the ball was tipped?
Before the ball was tipped, maybe a little bit. It's just a little awkward being on a different locker room and warming up, kind of the opposite side and all that kind of stuff. Once the ball goes up, it just, game time is completely different. I just wish I hit it one of those threes that would have made it much, much better.
From a team standpoint, one final point for me, Mark. This is now back-to-back games on the road that you guys have found ways down the stretch, especially to close out and get the W. The other night in San Antonio, I think it was a 9-0 run. And today it was 13-2 over the final 4.5 minutes. What is it about you guys as a unit that you guys are finding in terms of execution, though it's early here in the season, in terms of closing out?
I think we're learning each other. We're learning how to win as a team together, trying to help one another, be comfortable out there on both ends of the floor, communicating. It's all a process, obviously, like we always say that, but it truly is a process of becoming a team. And when you have new guys, going through the mistakes and how you approach them and how you fix them on the fly. Not only how you're being helped, also how you take it as a guy that probably has made a mistake. And when it's a hustle thing and you don't have enough energy, somebody else comes to you and or you bring the energy up for somebody else. That's all positive, and I think that it's all a process. And in fact, you're always getting ready, for the bigger challenge when it comes down to the playoffs.
Mark, thank you.
Bill.
Hey, Mark, good to see you. First of all, how's the eye? And then second of all, I'm wondering what it's like for you to be back in Memphis for 4 days, first time, and then presumably not be able to do any of the things that you would want to do your first time back.
Well, it's good. I mean, I got to check out my house and see how, all the smoke detectors were beeping. Had to kind of go in there and change the battery on those. But it's weird not seeing, the people that meant so much to me during those years. I can see, you can't meet them and you have to be responsible. So that's a little challenging because you don't know what other people are doing. So, just part of the business. You have to be responsible. But, I think it's a little easier. It makes it a little less emotional when you don't have that, all the people around you kind of going back so many years. I don't think it's the right timing for it now. So